It was the fall of 2002. A middle-aged man returned to LaGuardia Airport for his flight home after a New York business trip. As he pulled his travel bag out of the back seat of the car, he felt a sharp pain in his shoulder. As most of us would, he shook it off as a minor muscle pull, and when he had boarded the plane, the painful sensation stopped. When his flight landed and he picked up his bag again, the pain returned, yet by the time he got home, he felt fine. Later that evening, he was so excited to see his family that he barely noticed the pain had returned. It certainly wasn't severe enough to prevent him from taking his sons on an outing. He stopped and rested, felt better, and tried to catch up with his kids. But then immediately the pain would return. For a second, this man did consider the pain might be related to his heart, but he was, after all, only 48 years old and in good shape. He didn't smoke. He didn't have a family history of heart disease. He wasn't diabetic. So the next morning, when he felt perfectly normal, he decided the episode must have been simply a muscle pain, or perhaps brought on by the stress of his demanding career. Plus, being athletic, he was used to the little aches and pains that went along with tennis, swimming, and running. So when his wife went out for her daily run, he decided to walk along behind her. But he was surprised he couldn't even make it to the end of the driveway before the pain was back, and this time severe. Suddenly he realized he had to get to the hospital immediately and called out to his wife for help. By the time the medical team had him on the table in the emergency room, he was screaming in pain. To his complete shock, he had what's called the widowmaker. The widowmaker is a blockage or stenosis of the left anterior descending artery of the heart. This artery, called the LAD, feeds the bulk of your heart muscle. Unfortunately, this blockage commonly results in death, hence its name. In this man's case, his LAD was 97% blocked. His heart was literally starving for blood. Doctors quickly rushed him off to emergency heart surgery. And fortunately, I'm happy to tell you that his story had a happy ending. He survived. And because of this close brush with death, he was motivated to make simple yet life-altering changes that have kept him healthy and robust to this day. In just a moment, I will tell you about these same changes. And let me stress that these are simple changes you can easily make in your own life to prevent, reverse, and eliminate heart disease. But first, I want you to meet this man face to face. Yes, that's me in the photo. And yes, this is my story. Hello, I'm Dr. Chauncey Crandall. I'm a cardiologist and an emergency heart specialist with over 40,000 procedures under my belt, so I know heart disease inside and out. During my training, I spent many days in the basement laboratories at Yale Medical School creating heart disease in order to help me better understand how to fight it. I've run heart transplant programs and treated thousands of heart patients. Yet despite this, I nearly died from heart disease myself. Why? Because unfortunately, heart disease is often a silent killer. In fact, about 25% of all heart attacks happen silently, without clear or obvious symptoms. And oftentimes, when symptoms do exist, they are only mild or vague, so you may attribute them to indigestion or the flu, simple fatigue, or ordinary muscle strain. That's why I made this video. These 4 things happen right before a heart attack. I also want to teach you heart disease basics. What it is, how it gets started, why it gets worse, how to prevent and reverse it. It's so important to know these things before something serious or even deadly happens. I certainly don't want you to go through what I did. You see, I believe God has given me a special role to play. He helped save me so that I could help save others through my medical practice, and also share the life-saving information I've gained over my 28-year career treating folks just like you, which I also do each month in the Heart Health Report. In fact, I'm committed to showing you how to take care of your heart so you can live a long, healthy life. You see, heart disease is still the #1 killer of Americans, responsible for nearly 1/3 of all deaths, It kills more men and women each year than all cancers combined, including breast cancer. And shockingly, most Americans over age 35 already suffer from heart disease, whether they know it or not. Yes, heart disease often starts early in life and then slowly progresses until one day it's a very serious problem or even fatal. But here's the good news. Heart disease is completely unnecessary because it can be prevented, reversed, even cured. By all rights, I shouldn't be half as busy as I am, and that's because heart disease should be rare, not common. Okay, let's get started. I want you to know how to never need my professional medical help or the help of my medical peers. Today I'm going to share the same simple things I've used not only to heal myself, but also to heal the patients I've seen daily in my cardiology practice. Patients who do not have to fear heart disease, do not have to take expensive drugs that have harmful side effects, and will never suffer the nightmare I did. So please watch this video all the way through. It's not very long, but it is very important. And by the way, I've put all my heart disease prevention and reversal strategies into a special package just for you, beginning with today's video. But I also want you to have my heart disease prevention and reversal kit as a special free gift. Here's what it includes. My special report, These 4 Things Happen Right Before a Heart Attack. 7 keys for reversing heart disease for life. 8 steps to reducing high blood pressure. 7 steps for living statin-free. Must-have heart tests for everyone over 50. Fight heart disease with Dr. Crandall's Life Plan Diet. Women and heart disease, warning signs and risk factors. The 8 hidden risk factors for heart disease. The diabetes-heart disease connection. Unclog your arteries without painful surgery. You can reverse congestive heart failure. 7 superfoods for heart health. Stroke warning signs that can save your life. The special report, Losing Weight Over 50, created by the editors of Health Radar, a Newsmax publication I highly recommend. You'll be glad to know that you can obtain this entire package free with our special offer, and I'll show you how just ahead. But first, let's cover heart disease basics, including what it is, how it gets started, how it progresses, and how you can prevent, reverse, and eliminate it from your life. Be sure to watch this presentation all the way to the end, because in just a moment we'll be discussing the 4 things that can happen right before a heart attack. Perhaps you already know a few things about heart disease or are concerned about it. For instance, you may have high triglycerides or high blood pressure, or you easily get winded or have felt some chest pain. Already you may be taking heart or blood pressure medications or at least a cholesterol-lowering drug. I'm sure you know your total cholesterol number, but knowing your total cholesterol number isn't good enough because about half of all people who die from heart attacks have cholesterol readings considered to be in the normal range. So today I'm going to show you how to actually prevent and reverse heart disease as well as eliminate your risk for heart attack and stroke or other degenerative diseases as well. You see, the same things that cause heart disease also cause many other degenerative diseases such as diabetes, arthritis, and even cancer. But now, if you follow my guidance in today's video and also in my heart disease prevention and reversal kit, which you'll receive free just for trying a no-risk subscription to the Heart Health Report for a few pennies a day, you'll have everything you need to prevent, reverse, and eliminate heart disease from your life. Watch for a big orange button that you can click on to claim your free kit with our special offer. I'll tell you when it's on the screen, but first I want you to know. Heart disease is not something you automatically get as you grow older. It simply does not have to exist. In fact, in some cultures, it doesn't exist. I know this firsthand because my 2 passions are heart medicine and anthropology. I've traveled the world studying cultures that are free of heart disease, trying to figure out what they do that's different from what we do. I am also Director of Preventive Medicine at the world-renowned Palm Beach Cardiovascular Clinic in Florida, where I practice interventional, vascular, and transplant cardiology. As a frontline cardiologist, I've managed over 1,000 heart transplants and 40,000 heart procedures, and I'm honored to say I've saved thousands of lives. But here's the problem. We Westerners are creating epidemic rates of heart disease, diabetes, arthritis, and cancers. And then we're asking doctors, hospitals, and pharmacies to save us. Well, I've got a better idea. You save yourself. And if you keep watching this video all the way to the end, I'll show you how. So what actually causes heart disease? For years, it was hard to pin that down, especially since it seemed to vary from person to person. But we've learned a lot over the years, and today we know exactly what the process is and how to stop it. There are two main culprits: sugar and fat. These combine to create too much fat in your bloodstream, which in turn sets the stage for the buildup of arterial plaque, a condition known as atherosclerosis or heart disease. It should be no surprise that we have 800,000 people in the U.S. who have a first heart attack every year, and another 500,000 who have a second or third one. The typical American diet is absolutely loaded with sugar and fat, and what's more, modern processed foods have additives that make the sugar and fat worse by promoting inflammation, and that, along with these additional factors, fuels heart disease like gasoline on a fire. Stress, high blood pressure, smoking, lack of exercise, hormonal imbalances, overproduction of insulin, increase inflammation. The good news is that once you know how heart disease gets started and what fuels it, you can easily stop and reverse it. Imagine living a life free of heart disease. Not only will you feel great and have much more energy to do all the things you want, but you'll have peace of mind too. And if you stick with me to the end to receive your heart disease prevention and reversal kit, I'll make sure you have all the best options to get healthy and stay healthy. Now, just ahead, we'll talk about the 4 things that happen right before a heart attack. But let's first look at cholesterol and the myths and propaganda surrounding it. You probably already know your cholesterol is made up of 2 types, the good HDL and the bad LDL. But that's just the half of it, because the bad LDL cholesterol is especially bad if it's the small, dense type or pattern B. Some doctors just give you a total cholesterol number, such as 190, and you might think that's a good number, but not necessarily. You need to know how much of your cholesterol is the good HDL type and how much is the bad LDL type, and then you need to know whether your LDL is type A or type B. Your doctor can tell you how much good and bad cholesterol you have, and these 2 numbers provide the total, but the number is meaningless unless you know these details. You see, if you have a high level of good HDL cholesterol, you can get away with a higher level of bad LDL cholesterol, unless your bad LDL cholesterol is the dangerous pattern B type. Do you know if you have pattern A or pattern B LDL? Fortunately, there's a test that will tell you, but it's rarely given unless you ask for it. Another important test is the new plaque test, which measures the amount of plaque that's already built up in your arteries. It's remarkably accurate in predicting your potential for deadly heart attack or stroke. Certainly, every person over age 50 should have these tests, but again, you'll have to ask your doctor for them. And now you can. I've included my special report, Must-Have Heart Tests for everyone over age 50. The good news is that these tests are readily available, and they'll give you the knowledge needed to take immediate corrective action. But I can tell you that, in my own practice, I have found that most people, even those as young as age 35, have already developed some heart disease because we have way too much fat, sugar, and processed foods in our diets. And even if you don't have a sweet tooth, you should know that simple carbohydrates such as pasta, chips, white bread, potatoes, and rice, as well as most processed foods that come in a bag or box, all convert to sugar in your body. That's how heart disease gets started without you even knowing it. Remember your reports. These 4 things happen right before a heart attack, and losing weight over 50 are yours free when you try my advisory letter, the Heart Health Report, for just a few pennies a day. Getting this kit is smart, not only for the life-saving information it contains, but also because you'll stay abreast of the latest advances in the Heart Health Report, which I bring to you from the front lines of heart research in my daily cardiology practice. Let me show you what you'll discover in my new special report. You'll see how to boost your good HDL, which will then make your bad LDL less harmful, and that's especially important if you have a dangerous pattern B type. You'll also learn that cholesterol is not a dirty word, as a pharmaceutical industry and many doctors would have you believe. The fact is, your body makes cholesterol, and it serves many important metabolic functions. For example, cholesterol is an important structural component of every cell in your body. Cholesterol plays a key role in making your hormones. Cholesterol is essential to the digestion of your food. Cholesterol plays a role in fighting infection. Cholesterol helps make vitamin D, which not only protects you against disease, but makes your teeth and bones stronger. Sadly, we've been trained to believe that cholesterol is bad and that nearly all of us need to take cholesterol-lowering drugs. Not true. And these drugs can have harmful long-term side effects. Why take them when there's a better solution that you'll discover in the free kit you'll receive when you get the Heart Health Report for a few pennies a day? You see, cholesterol only becomes a problem when you have too much LDL relative to your HDL, and it's only a very serious problem if your LDL is the dangerous pattern B type. That's why you need a full cholesterol test and the plaque test. This dangerous combination of too much LDL with a high concentration of pattern B LDL typically occurs when you have a diet high in sugar, fat, and processed foods. And it's made worse if you smoke, don't get enough exercise, are under stress, or have too much inflammation in your body, even if that inflammation is from an infection or common arthritis. Sadly, most doctors don't have the time to explain these things, nor do they always know about the latest advances in heart health or even the best tests to give. But these are the kinds of things I discuss every month in the Heart Health Report. Okay, let me show you what heart disease is and how it gets started, and I'll bet you've never heard it explained this way. Your arteries are composed of millions of cells aligned in what cardiologists call tight junctions. But stress, inflammation, hormonal imbalances, and high blood pressure can stretch the artery and damage it in places, allowing the small, dense, and dangerous pattern B LDL particles to embed in these tight junctions. This is the beginning of heart disease because it triggers an inflammatory immune response. It's like getting a splinter in your finger in which the surrounding area swells and turns a little red. That's your normal immune response isolating the splinter in order to expel it, which it typically does in a few days. Some people's bodies do this well, but others can't leave a splinter under their skin because it will become further inflamed and infected. Now a similar process occurs with the embedded pattern B LDL particles in your arteries. Your immune system goes to work to repair the damage, but the normal inflammation process creates something akin to a blister. Some people heal these blisters just fine, but others, and this explains why some people are more prone to heart disease than others, don't make the repairs very easily. And of course, you can't dig the LDL particles out of your arteries as you would dig splinters out of your skin. So the embedded fat particles trigger inflammation, which creates a blister, which attracts more fat particles, and this starts the plaque buildup. Next, your body tries to heal this condition by sealing the plaque with red blood cells, making something like a scab. But this sealing process not only narrows your arteries, cutting off the full flow of blood, it also can cause hardened blood clots to form. And it's the rupture of these clots that cause heart attacks and strokes. Consider this. If you have triglycerides over 150, pattern B LDL cholesterol, and low HDL, you'll build plaque faster, which over time calcifies and hardens. And if a piece of this calcified plaque breaks off and travels to your heart or brain, it can kill you or leave you debilitated for life. But that doesn't have to happen ever. And that's why I want you to have my heart disease prevention and reversal kit as my gift to you when you start reading the Heart Health Report each month for just a few pennies a day. But before we get to that, I want you to understand the connection between heart disease and inflammation, and also learn about the 4 things that happen right before a heart attack. Today, medical researchers are realizing more and more that numerous diseases are caused or influenced by chronic inflammation, including heart disease. And when you start reading the Heart Health Report, you'll see all the different ways you can reduce inflammation, so you can avoid not just heart disease, but many other diseases and health problems as well. Already you know how heart disease gets started and then progresses. So here are just a few things you can do right now to prevent, reverse, and cure heart disease. First, if you smoke, you need to quit and get medical help if this is difficult for you. Next, get regular exercise, as this will raise your good HDL cholesterol, which makes your LDL cholesterol less of a problem. Also, make sure you have a release for stress. You can use physical outlets such as tennis, golf, or fishing, or more spiritual and religious means such as prayer, meditation, and even more fun social activities with friends and family. Next, I strongly advise that you cut out all sugars. Also, cut way back on refined carbohydrates that convert to sugar in your body. These include pasta, chips, white bread, rice, potatoes, as well as many processed foods that come in bags and boxes. Next, cut back on fatty foods. Remember, sugar and fat are the 2 ingredients that do the most harm. And the benefit here is that you'll lose weight, get fewer headaches, have less inflammation in your body, and also get a lot more energy. You'll also want to increase your intake of fresh fruits, vegetables, nuts, and whole grains. Fish and chicken are all right, and even a little lean red beef is fine on occasion. When you try the Heart Health Report and receive your free heart disease prevention and reversal kit, you'll find that one of the issues titled Fight Heart Disease with Dr. Crandall's Life Plan Diet. In my new special report, you'll see which foods are really good for you, and you'll have a lot of choices too. Most of my patients have found that while they may have to give up or reduce a few favorite foods, my Heart Healthy diet includes many delicious foods. And very soon you'll feel so good on your new diet, having more energy and looking younger, that you'll wonder why you didn't do it years ago. And don't forget, when you try the Heart Health Report for just pennies a day, you'll also receive a free copy of Losing Weight Over 50. Let's face it, as we age, the pounds all too easily creep up on us. This report will help you get those pounds off. Okay, but I hear at least one objection. But Dr. Crandall, I can't give up my nightly ice cream. Ah, yes, the perfect combination of sugar and fat, and so delicious too. Well, I hear you loud and clear, and believe it or not, my patients, even those who have had heart attacks, routinely tell me the same thing. So this is as good a time as any to explain what I do as an interventional cardiologist, and also explain why you'll love the heart disease prevention and reversal kit that you'll receive when you start reading the Heart Health Report for just a few pennies a day. I have a medical philosophy for working with my patients that's best expressed as, I meet you right where you are, and then I work with you on a comfortable course of treatment to achieve the best outcome over time. For example, if you were to come to me as a heart patient, I would use everything in my medical arsenal, conventional medicines, emerging treatments, lifestyle changes, and a few specialties of my own to get you well as quickly as possible. I'd want you to be as symptom-free, drug-free, and as stress-free as possible. But I understand that everyone is different, and that's why I assess everything that's going on with my patients, including what they're likely to do and not do before prescribing a course of treatment. Of course, I want to stop heart disease in its tracks and reverse it, but I won't insist on an ultra-strict plan that you can't follow. Instead, I will offer you several options for both resolving and reducing heart problems, and its risks. For example, I'd rather you didn't use statin drugs, but I might prescribe them to quickly get your numbers under control while urging you to make lifestyle changes to control them naturally over time. Often I recommend a low-dose statin every other day, which greatly reduces the chance of harmful side effects, and many of my patients do very well on this regimen. One thing I want to impress upon you is this: bypass surgery should be your last resort. If you have a cardiac event and we're in the hospital with a heart surgeon insisting on bypass surgery, I tell you to get a second opinion and consider balloon angioplasty and the new stents instead. In most cases, these are proving just as effective without the trauma of open heart surgery, and that's why I want you to read the Heart Health Report every month to learn the latest advances in heart health. Most importantly, if you follow my guidance in your special reports and in my monthly letter, the Heart Health Report, you'll get the ideal plan to eliminate heart disease from your life over time, and if you want to be aggressive, in just 90 days. But I'll also give you a plan B and a plan C. Remember, I meet you right where you are, and then we'll proceed from there. The important thing is to just get started, and some prevention and reversal strategies, because small improvements in heart disease will make big improvements in your overall health and energy level. Now let's talk about the 4 things that happen right before a heart attack, and of course this applies to stroke too. The only difference between a heart attack and a stroke is which artery is blocked, the LAD that feeds your heart or the carotid artery that feeds your brain. Both can be deadly or debilitating for life, but we're not going to let that happen. Here's a sample of what you'll learn in this powerful special report. These 4 things happen right before a heart attack. Number 1, chest pain. Of course, you'd expect this, but what you probably don't know is that a serious problem coming from your heart can manifest as pain far away from your chest. What's highly uncommon is what cardiologists jokingly call the Hollywood heart attack. That's when an actor clutches his heart and dramatically falls to the ground. Frankly, that kind of heart attack is rare. In your special report, these 4 things happen right before a heart attack. You're going to learn half a dozen different places you can feel pain or an unusual sensation, and most of them would trick you into believing you were having anything but a heart attack. Again, this is why heart disease is called the silent killer. Number 2, nausea and sweating. Here again, most people wouldn't associate these things with a heart attack. They might think that they ate something that didn't agree with them, or that they are coming down with the flu, or are simply stressed. But in your free report, these 4 things happen right before a heart attack. You'll get the full story on what a heart attack is and all the different feelings you can experience beforehand. This information can literally save your life. The reason my publisher is offering this report free with your no-risk subscription to the Heart Health Report is that I insisted this vitally important information reach as many people as possible. It's really important because these things often occur a few days or even weeks before the onset of the heart attack or stroke, and at other times just a few minutes before. Knowing them will give you the time to take action. If you experience one or more of these 4 things, time is of the essence. Regarding any cardiac event, the sooner you get to the hospital, the greater chance you'll have for survival and the less damage you'll do to your heart. And regarding number 3 and 4, they will seem like breathing or digestive issues and can be tricky. For this reason, I'd prefer you read about them in full detail in your free report. I want to make sure you know all the warning signs and their subtle variations. And it's easy to get your free report, These 4 Things Happen Right Before a Heart Attack, right now with a special offer. Then you can read it carefully and share this information with friends and family. It really can save your life or the life of someone you love. In fact, once you start reading the Heart Health Report for just a few pennies a day and receive your free heart disease prevention and reversal kit, you'll have everything you need to keep your heart healthy, lose weight, avoid heart attack and stroke, and feel better than you have in years. Remember, Apart from the 12 monthly issues of the Heart Health Report, your free kit includes my special report, These 4 Things Happen Right Before a Heart Attack, 7 Keys for Reversing Heart Disease for Life, 8 Steps to Reducing High Blood Pressure, 7 Steps for Living Statin-Free, Must-Have Heart Tests for everyone over 50, Fight Heart Disease with Dr. Crandall's Life Plan Diet, Women in Heart Disease, Warning Signs and Risk Factors, plus all of these important chapters too. The 8 hidden risk factors for heart disease, the diabetes-heart disease connection, unclog your arteries without painful surgery, you can reverse congestive heart failure, 7 superfoods for heart health, stroke warning signs that can save your life. I promise you this. Follow my guidance and you'll greatly reduce your risk for any heart problems. Plus, you'll lose weight and feel better than you have in years. Okay, here it is. The big orange button is live and ready to go. It's at the bottom of your screen. Just scroll down and click on it, and you can claim your free heart disease prevention and reversal kit, plus start reading the Heart Health Report for just pennies a day. Don't be a sitting duck for heart disease, and don't let your loved ones suffer either. It's not necessary anymore. We have the knowledge and tools to prevent, stop, and even cure heart disease, and I will personally guide you. Click the big orange button below to start your no-risk subscription to the Heart Health Report for just pennies a day. You'll receive your free kit with a special offer, including These 4 Things Happen Right Before a Heart Attack, information that could literally save your life. Thanks for watching. This is Dr. Chauncey Crandall, your partner for a healthy heart for life.